Alrighty, guys. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day out there. Good to have you guys here back for some more coverage. So, I haven't been able to be here the last couple of days. I had some things going on, some family stuff and stuff going on, so I haven't been able to be live here. But we are back here. I'm going to do a little bit of coverage tonight, not anything super crazy or anything like that. But anyways, folks, what's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see who we got here today. We have Owen, we have Kermit, we have Dixie, we have Tabletop, we have Black Tar, we have Crystal, Divinely, SKU, Fast Car, Mark, Silent, Karen, and of course everybody else who is here but not chatting. Hope everyone's doing good. So we have a bit of activity really going off right now across portions of Texas and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and turn down this weather radio. It's a little bit too loud for me. But we do have a lot of activity that is starting to really kick off across like Texas, working its way up into Oklahoma and Kansas. Big hail is on the platter for today, my friends. Big hail and damaging wind potential. Pretty much most of these warnings that we have right now are issued for considerable concerns here, such as very large hail, and all that fun stuff. So we do have a couple of storms down here in, we're going to start in the very bottom here, at kind of southwestern Texas, really far western Texas here. This is mostly rural areas, I believe, out right here for these storms particularly. I mean, it doesn't look like that there's really much going on out here. But we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here for the possibility here of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here, as well as 2-inch hail. So it kind of, puts into perspective what we could be dealing with for today. Definitely, we are talking big potential out there for, hail and winds. Now, tornadoes will be possible today. However, they're kind of a low concern. I mean, nothing really super crazy today. We're not really expecting any, big tornadic activity or anything like that to occur. So that's certainly good. But yeah, I mean, obviously we do have all kind of hazards that we still do need to look out there for. So let's take a quick look here over here towards the Lubbock radar. We have a couple of severe thunderstorms popping off here, starting northeast of Lubbock. Out there by Floyd, Data, we do have ourselves a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for ping pong hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. This includes Booth, including Dougherty, and Center, Texas. So heads up to you guys. We have about 1.5-inch hail that is equivalent to ping pong ball size, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gust potential. And you can kind of see here where we do have kind of a decent little hail core that's really kind of showing itself here overall. So definitely is some pretty decent size hail within that storm. So watch out there for that. Northeast of this is actually just kind of shallow or just shy south of the panhandle of Texas. Out here by Lakeview, including Lakeview, Texas here, as well as Pulaska, Weatherly, and Tampico. We got another severe thunderstorm warning in effect for ping pong hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So these are kind of similar storms in terms of strength here. But yeah, you can see those are definitely a big concern for hail. Same thing for the one east of that, south of Esteline, I think it is, including Cary here in Texas. This is out there basically just, let's see here. This is just southeast of Memphis, Texas. So slightly southeast of that. But yeah, 1.5-inch hail as well is a concern overall. What's up, EM? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Michelle? Hope you're doing all right. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Kel? What's up, Raka? What's up, Janine? Hope you're doing good. What's the pre-stream music called? I have no idea. I picked that out like years ago. I have no idea what it's called. Let's see here. What's up, Black Tar? We're doing good. Saying, wait, Hannah? Huh? What about San Angelo? I think you guys are in that risk today. Yeah, you guys are in that significant risk for both hail and damaging winds. So, yeah, like we mentioned today, we do have a significant hail threat and significant wind threat. So this is where we're going to have potential of wind gusts, in excess of 70 miles an hour. Kind of right here where we have this, this dashed area. Oops, I could definitely draw that a little better here. There you go. So this region right here where you kind of see those dashed lines, that is our significant wind threat here for today. So this is where we could see potentially, winds in excess of 70 miles an hour. So we are talking definitely some pretty strong wind gusts here being possible. Otherwise, the other areas here mostly just between 60 to 70 miles an hour. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the watches real quickly. Let's go ahead and disable those real quick. So hopefully, hold on, did that not... Oh, these are warnings. Whoops, my bad. Let's go ahead and do that again. Let's try that again. There we go. So this region here is where we could see excess winds within 70 miles an hour or greater. And once again, the other areas here, which the risk goes all the way up here towards, even northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin for today. That's where we do have that wind threat as well. So, the brown here is a 5% chance. The yellow here is a 15% chance. And we're talking winds in those regions here kind of within 60 to 70 miles an hour. But like I mentioned, that area where we have that dashed white lines going through it here, that's our significant threat for damaging winds here. Mostly across West Texas here for potential winds, excess of 70 miles an hour. So definitely we are talking some pretty big hail and damaging wind potential here overall. Our hail threat here, the potential for hail 2 inches in diameter and greater is mostly going to be isolated to far western Texas here. You can kind of see San Angelo's within that significant hail threat. Same thing out there kind of by Seminole. Here just south of Lubbock is inside of that significant hail threat. So once again, we're going to have potential here of hail, 2 inches in diameter and larger here. Now, lastly, our tornado risk here is relatively small. We have a 2% chance for tornadoes across the western side here of Texas. An isolated tornado or two across these regions can't be ruled out. The good news is that if we did get tornadic activity, it would likely remain weak. Nothing really super significant tornado-wise is expected, which is certainly good news. Let's go and bring up the meso-analysis here. I kind of want to take a peek at that and see what's going on here, just kind of at current conditions and everything. Just to kind of see what's going on out there. So let's go ahead and bring this over here. So this is our meso-analysis, kind of looking at the current conditions here. Let's go and hop down to south central U.S. view here. My internet's been a little slow today, just a bit of a heads up for you guys. If anything crazy happens, well, that's why. But you can see it's taking a minute to load here. Let's go ahead and try refreshing the page here. Sometimes it does it. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on. Our Wi-Fi out here is actually pretty bad. I don't know if it's the site here, Storm Prediction Center site or whatnot. Not too sure. Actually, you know what? I think it's SPC's site that's being affected. That's probably why. Yeah, because other websites seem to load for me. Here, let me try refreshing one more time here. Yeah, like I said, I'd like to take a quick peek at that if we can. There we go. Okay, cool. We got it. Okay, so, yeah, like I said, we have a lot of storms popping off out here. Now, tornadoes really, develop in really strong lower-level wind shear. Like we mentioned here, there's really not a lot of wind shear involved, at least lower-level winds. That's not really going to be supportive for any, big tornadoes or anything like that. I mean, all that's going to be, mostly under 30 knots of lower-level winds, which is, typically for tornadic activity, you'd want stronger winds in our lower atmosphere. But, just given that here, I mean, there's really not a lot of lower-level wind shear. So that's certainly good. Mid-level flow is pretty weak, too, to the east here. So middle atmosphere winds are going from the west to the east here in this direction. And, the winds are fairly weak. For really crazy thunderstorm activity, like supercells and all kinds of stuff like that, you really need some strong wind shear to get, big rotation and stuff like that going on. But honestly, not much of a concern here. Our wind shear is fairly weak, which is good. Like I mentioned, that's really going to lower, not only lower the tornado probability at all, but also lower the potential of them, the potency and, of those storms and everything like that. So, anyways, let's see here. Mark says Cali. What, California? There's nothing going on in California that I'm aware of. Nothing severe weather-wise. What's up, Michael? Saying, hey, Andrew, just wanted to let you know that you do a very good job keeping people safe. You are only one guy covering multiple states with multiple warnings, doing what you can. Good job, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I try the best. Might not be the best out there, but I sure do try my hardest to keep you guys weather aware. So, like we mentioned, we got a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings going on right now. Hopping on over here to Kansas, just west of Wichita, we have a severe thunderstorm warning here in effect for golf ball hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This includes, once again, northwest of Wichita, Kansas. This includes Haven, includes Yoder, Castleton, Burton, Mount Hope, Andale, Bentley, Sedgwick, as well as Halstead. You guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Once again, this is for potential golf ball hail. If you look at the storm here, you can really see a lot of pink involved there. That's really showing quite a bit of hail going on. It's a pretty big hail core. Let's take a peek at velocity here too. Definitely, I don't see nothing rotating, which is good news. But once again, we should definitely watch out for this here. 60-mile-an-hour wind. So honestly, in this case, I would recommend going indoors, away from windows. Certainly don't want to be out in that. That's kind of a mess. North of that here, once again, this is kind of north central Texas, or sorry, Kansas, not Texas. Central, kind of north central portions here of Kansas here. We have another warning in effect for Brookville and Glendale. This one is also for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here, but we also have $half little on that one here. Potential hail size, 1.25 inches in diameter there. So we have that one actually has a little over an hour to go. So we still got a while on that one. Anyways, but yeah, we are seeing a lot of really strong storms going through here, ranging 1 to 1.75 inches in diameter. Like I mentioned, if you guys are in the risk area here, if you guys are across this, the dark green and the yellow, especially the yellow, that's kind of where we have the greatest concern for severe weather tonight. Now, I was looking at models earlier, and it kind of looks like these storms are going to continue pretty far into the night here. We should have the 0 Zulu run rendering right now, which we do. We're going to bring up the models here in 1 second for you guys. But yeah, it really does seem like the models here of, kind of suggest a lot of storm activity here, kind of rolling through over the night here. You can kind of see, according to HRRR, I mean, look at that. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, so look at the time in the bottom right there. This is 5 a.m. Eastern. This would be 4 Central. It certainly looks like we definitely kind of develop a pretty big Boeing segment of storms potentially. Now, this latest 0 Zulu has that kind of going through the Dallas-Fort Worth area here. That's fairly early too. So we'll definitely look out there for that. I don't know if we're definitely not going to be awake at that point, but definitely if you guys are out there, keep an eye out there for that. Just know that this mess could turn into just kind of a big Boeing segment of storms. Could be a concern for damaging winds and stuff like that. So we'll have to look out for that. What's up? Saying, hey, Andrew, how have you been? I'm in Lubbock, Texas. What's up? Hope you're doing good, my friend. So Lubbock today is in that risk here. We do have that level 2 threat for today out there by Lubbock. Right now, looking at the radar here, we got some storms in the area here. We got a little bit of activity going on here, but for Lubbock itself, we are fairly clear currently. But just know, there is definitely some storm activity in the area here, and we actually are seeing potential for severe weather out here. Large hail damaging winds kind of being the main concern here. Now, northeast of Lubbock here, out there by Floydada, we do have a pretty nasty storm here. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and ping pong ball size hail. Definitely, we are talking some pretty big hail concerns out here. And then, of course, another one here just northeast of that here, south of Lakeview, Texas here for 1.5-inch hail, ping pong ball size. So, knock on wood right now, we do not have any tornado warnings, which is good. But like we mentioned, yes, there is going to be potential for tornadoes today across West Texas, but nothing super crazy tornadic-wise is expected today, which is good. Today's and tonight's concern, I should say, is mostly going to be that wind and that hail threat, essentially overall. So, that's going to be kind of the main issue out there. Let's see here. Rife says, what is Mississippi looking like for the next 2 days? don't think we really have too much going on out here. Here, let me go ahead and bring this up real quick. So here's SPC. So for tonight, Mississippi's fairly good. A little bit of severe thunderstorm potential in southwest Mississippi tonight. Tomorrow, not much going on. Day 3 here, nothing going on. Yeah, not really a whole lot going on for Mississippi. Like I mentioned, tonight, though, there is a little marginal risk here that SPC does have for an isolated severe storm or two. No tornado concerns, I'll tell you that, which is definitely good news. However, we do have the potential for maybe a little bit of gusty winds and maybe a little bit of hail out here, but it's a relatively low-end threat today. The main concern today, like I said, or tonight, I should say, is mostly going to be across like Texas, like western Texas here, going through, Oklahoma, as well as Kansas and whatnot. So, that's kind of what we're looking out there for now. And you can see that we do have a pretty good variety of severe thunderstorm warnings going on currently. So, we're definitely going to need to be, watching closely for those guys. Anyways, let's see here. Let's hop to the Lubbock radar here. What about fire weather for Midwest this week? We'll look at that here in a minute. Right now, like I said, right now we're kind of just looking at this real quickly. But remind me, Michael, here in a few minutes, and we'll look at that. Okay, I'll try to remember. Baseball season hail near Lubbock. Yeah, we do got some pretty big hail. And so Lubbock itself is pretty clear right now, as you guys can see on the radar. So this is Lubbock right here. We do have a pretty gnarly storm to the northeast, though, out there by Floydada towards Dougherty. This is one we're kind of watching pretty closely. This one has potential of ping-pong hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts out there. We do have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning apparently out there for Terry County. Is that over here by Denver City? Oh, yeah, baseball hail. That's probably the one you might be talking about here. Yeah, this is southwest of, let's see here. Yeah, a little southwest here of Lubbock. Ooh, look at that. Some pretty high reflectivity readings up there. So this is just north of Seagraves here, west of Wellman, Texas here. Very, very far western side. Yeah, baseball hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts out there. 2.75-inch hail. So I don't think, there hasn't been any reports yet of baseball hail, but that's what it's warned for. We do have a report out by Plains, which is just right to the north of that storm there. This is actually out of a separate cell here. It looks like we might have a cell split going on here, kind of splitting into 2 different cells. That southern one's becoming more dominant here. But for that northern one, we did have 1.5-inch hail reported. They just actually canceled the warning out there. This is by Plains, Texas, which is, like I mentioned, really far west Texas here. So there definitely some pretty large hail. Look at that. Look at that hail core there. That's scanning a good 5,000, 5,400 feet up, essentially. That's some pretty big hail that's going on. I really want to kind of sector scan or cross-section slice that here. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that. So looking in the inside of the storm here, you can really kind of see here between 10 to 20,000 feet here. We really got some dark purples and blues even showing up there, which, that's radar essentially picking up some pretty big objects. And also you can kind of see where we have that high-end reflectivity here. Looking at correlation coefficient, you can kind of see there's a lot of yellowish, orange, and stuff like that going on there, representing a big change in, rain and hail size, essentially. Definitely some big changes going on there. But that's certainly a really nasty storm there. So the good news is I think this is rural areas here. This includes Denver City, mostly just northeast of Denver City here. People and animals outdoors will be severely injured. Expect shattered windows, extensive roof damage, as well as sightings in vehicles. Yeah. Hail that size is something that you got to really take shelter for, because you definitely don't want to be out in that. All right, let's take a peek in central Texas here. Got a severe thunderstorm warning for Round Rock out here by Jonah, including Georgetown, Texas. Ping pong hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on that one. Let's hop up north here. We're going to take a peek at north central Oklahoma. Yeah, this one's had a pretty nasty history with hail. I mean, look at this. So all throughout like southern, south central Kansas here, we've had several reports of hail between 1 and 2 inches. You know, several reports of 1.75 inch hail. We do have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here. One for extreme south Kansas here, including Athena. Why is my computer being very slow today? Athena, including 1.75 inch hail and quarter hail too. That's been reported out here. This is actually warned for golf ball hail, which is 1.75, which we have reported with this storm here. You can kind of see this all that purplish pink and blue. You know, it's where we have some pretty big hail brewing up there. Let's see. What's up, Catloaf? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. There was 3-inch hail today report. All right, really? Where was that at? Do you know? Gee, yeah. I mean, we got 2.5 reported out here up in Kansas. Let's take a peek at that. That's not far from Wichita either. Now, this is just west of Wichita. You can see we have reports of 2.5-inch hail out here. That's pretty big. It's pretty big. Dixie coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Dixie. I appreciate the support, my friend. That's very sweet of you, my friend. Thank you so much, Dixie, for the 10. I appreciate that very, very much. You guys in chat, please give Dixie a big thank you for the $10. I appreciate it, my friend. You certainly didn't have to do that. That was very, very nice of you. I really appreciate it. Once again, Dixie, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate that. Very, very much. Super sweet of you. All right, so taking a peek here up in northern, let's see here, northern Kansas. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Glendale, including Headville. This one is ping pong ball hail. I mean, like I mentioned, most of these warnings here, I mean, are, whoa, that was weird. Most of these warnings are like, you know, 1.5 inches in diameter and greater. I mean, most of these are pretty hefty hail warnings. Look at that. I think that's a decaying outflow boundary here. I wasn't here to look at earlier scans, so I can't confirm that for sure, but some type of boundary or something going on there. Let's see here. John says, what can Lubbock expect for the rest of the night? So Lubbock... out here in Lubbock currently, we are pretty clear, but we still do have that threat for severe weather. Now, we do have that concern for hail and damaging winds. You can see at the radar right now, I mean, we do have some storms to the north here and to the southwest. So around you, the environment is still definitely capable of severe weather, including hail, you know, damaging winds, and, you know, an isolated tornado can't be ruled out, but it is pretty unlikely that you'll see that. So... with that being said, you know, Lubbock, you should definitely still keep an eye out there for, you know, for Lubbock area, you know, throughout the next several hours here, you know, because there definitely still will be that potential for severe weather for at least the next couple of hours. So we still need you to be weather aware out here. But for right now, like I mentioned, there's no immediate danger for Lubbock. I mean, looking at the radar now, once again, you can see we do have some activity once again to the north and to the southwest here. Y'all see this? My mouse is being like really slow or something. I don't know what's going on here today. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties happening today. Let's see here. But yeah, once again, Dixie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Wish I was rich. I'd give you more. Hey, don't worry about it. Like I mentioned, you know, that's the amount is not what matters. Like I said, it's just the thought that counts, and you really did help us out a ton with that, so I just want to say thank you. And like I mentioned, you know, you guys don't even have to donate or anything like that. It's much appreciated, but, you know, like I mentioned, it's you know, not something you guys have to do. You know, like I said, I do it. I do this to help you guys out, in which, you know, I'm definitely glad to be here for you guys. Like I mentioned, I wasn't able to be here for the last couple of days because I had some personal stuff going on. But well, we're here now. We're here now. Now tomorrow too, while we're talking about it, so tomorrow we do have a risk as well. Tomorrow we got another slight, I believe, kind of similar concern, if I recall correctly. Yeah, so West Texas tomorrow. We have another slight risk out here. This is once again kind of almost a repeat of today, essentially. So we do have a 2% risk tomorrow in West Texas. This actually extends up into portions of Kansas, even like southeastern Colorado. 15 wind threats, 15 hail threats. So yeah, tomorrow, we definitely need to be weather aware across western Texas as well. Working our way into, let's see, what is this? Hold on a minute. So yeah, this is tomorrow for Wednesday. And going into Thursday, I think we have a little bit of severe weather going on. I think we have a marginal risk, though. Yeah, so we have a marginal here for Thursday across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas here. And then we actually do have an extended range outlook here real quickly. We'll look at. Yeah, sorry, like I mentioned, my SPC's page has been being a little slow. My computer's been being a little slow. It's just not a good day for technology today. Having a little bit of issues. Well, while that loads, I'll look at the chat here. Let's see. Yep, no problem, John. I got you. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that, my friend. That's why I love your channel, helping us out. Thank you, Dixie. Once again, I appreciate it. So, yeah, working our way into next Monday, guys. You can see SPC does have an extended range outlook for severe weather across the central plains and the Midwest. So areas up in like Kansas, Nebraska, portions of South Dakota, Missouri, Iowa, and even Minnesota is going to be under the gun for severe weather here coming up for Monday. So Monday we're going to need to be weather aware up here in the Central Plains and Midwest, like we mentioned here. But that's what we got as of right now in the extended range. So but for now, like I mentioned, we just have today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, thankfully, isn't in that significant. Luckily, isn't in that significant risk overall. So that's good. Tomorrow should be a little bit more tame, hopefully. What's up, MD? Saying hi, Andrew. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Let's see here. What's up, Court? Welcome. Misty says SPC page was incredibly slow. Is it slow for you too, guys? Is SPC page slow for you guys today? Because it's just being real slow. I don't know if it's my end because my computer's been being a little slow. But yeah, also like mesoanalysis page has been pretty slow too. Let me actually grab some SKU-T plots here. See what we got going on. So we do have a pretty dry mid-lower level atmosphere here. Pretty dry, really strong amount of CAPE here, or fuel for storms here. A lot of instability or fuel right in here. This is our mid-atmosphere. So this is ground level. This is middle atmosphere. This is upper atmosphere. So, between the red here and the parcel path, the dotted black line, this is our instability, our CAPE. In which we do have a pretty solid chunk of instability here. Especially in that dry layer there, we are gaining instability. So, that's really kind of contributing to some of that hail, especially. Let's work our way up north a little bit here. Not much of a difference, to be honest. A little slow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You know what, though? I am really thankful that our wind shear isn't any stronger. I mean, that could be even worse for hail, given strong wind shear, could support more, stronger updrafts and all that fun stuff. Could be a lot worse for hail today, but I mean, it's already been pretty hefty. Yeah, if we had more wind shear in the atmosphere, there definitely could be some larger hail involved. Thunder and lightning in Mississippi right now, says Nobi. Gotcha. So actually, Mississippi, we talked about this a minute ago. We do have a little bit of a risk here in southwestern Mississippi. Actually, we have a severe warning in central Louisiana here, south of Alexandria, including Woodworth, Louisiana, Forest Hill, Glenmora, Quarter Hail. That's the only concern, not even winds. So That's good. We got a little bit of severe warnings here north of Austin, Texas, just outside of the risk area. Y'all, look at this. Look at this. So Austin, Texas, right? So you guys aren't even in the risk area today. So you guys are in that general thunderstorm risk here. North of Austin, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Georgetown out there by Hutto and Round Rock for tennis ball hail. 2.5 inches in diameter, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. A considerable severe thunderstorm warning here. Another one east for areas like Taylor and Thrall and Copeland for quarter hail of 60s. So that's kind of a baseline severe thunderstorm warning. But the one up to the west of that, north of Austin, dude, that's pretty serious, man. 2.5-inch hail, tennis ball hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts out by Georgetown, Hutto. That's definitely significant. May I remind you that SPC outlooks are not perfect, but they're good for determining, a quick kind of view of where, some of the nasty severe weather is going to be. I'm not trying to down the SPC or anything. I'm just letting you know that sometimes severe weather can happen well outside the risk area. So that's why we need you to also be keeping an eye out there for that. Okay, so we have a quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds northwest of Lubbock, northeast of Lubbock, ping pong ball hail, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust by Floydada. All right, see you later, Lisa. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Got a warning northwest of Wichita, quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds by Burton and Halstead. I want to bring up satellite view real quickly. Here, let's bring you guys over here. Take a peek at the satellite view here. I'm sure this is quite a sight to see. Yeah, look at that. So before the sun went down, you can see kind of the dust being kicked up underneath those storms there. And then these tall cumulonimbus towers here. Some anvil cumulonimbus incus is developing down here. And then the sun went down and put us in night mode. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Definitely lots of wind being kicked up there too. You can kind of see a little bit of cyclonic motion here. That is really interesting. You can kind of see that right in there. Huh. Let's try Texas real quickly. We'll hop down to like west central Texas here. Yeah, look at that. So right in here, you can kind of see a lot of that dust being kicked up there. This is a lot of, I think this is an outflow boundary from these storms here, that cold pool that's developed from these big guys over here. Cold air kind of pushing out in like most, throughout a lot of directions here. I wouldn't say all directions, but really kind of pushing out there. And you know what? That's actually kind of what sparked, I believe, these storms over here, is that outflow boundary there. Kind of created a new updraft for new storms. Anyways, I'm just kind of going off right now. I need to hop back back to the radar. It's just so cool, man. Just to see everything kind of working together. What should I expect for Augusta, Georgia? I don't think Georgia has much going on tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, we have a little marginal risk here. Nothing super big going on tomorrow for Georgia. Central southern Georgia, a little bit of severe weather is possible. No tornadoes, though, just mostly a little concern for gusty winds and hail. Nothing really big. I mean, yeah, keep it out there for a couple strong to severe storms, but, nothing super, significant is really expected, so. Anyways, Dubs says thanks for being here. Yep, no problem, man. Glad to be here. Julie says, what about Lubbock, Texas? So we have a lot of people out by Lubbock. So Lubbock right now is pretty okay. So Julie, we have a little bit of, you can see clearing going on over Lubbock. But yeah, to the north and, northwest, northeast, southwest, we have storms kind of blowing up all around us. Now, given the risk here, we're still in that active risk for severe weather. And we're still going to be for the next couple of hours because new storms can develop. And, the storms right now, I mean, if we played this in motion here, we'll go ahead and just go over the last 14 frames or so. Like I said, these storms aren't moving too fast because, like I mentioned, there's really not a whole lot of wind shear. The winds are fairly weak throughout the atmosphere. This is kind of a high cape, low shear environment here. Not much wind shear to kind of really make these storms move pretty quickly. So most of these guys are moving pretty slow, and because of that, it's probably going to create a bit of a concern for flooding. Even let me check that real quick. But yeah, Lubbock needs to watch out for storms today. Throughout tonight. You guys are still in that concern right now. Though, looking at the radar, you're clear. But like I mentioned, that's not going to guarantee be that way for the rest of the night because the environment around you still is capable of producing all hazards of severe weather. Let me bring up the day one outlook here for flooding. I do believe so. Yeah, we do have at least a little risk for flooding. So these green areas here, you can see a little bit of like western Oklahoma cutting through a big chunk of Texas. Cutting through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, up into like the Smoky Mountains and stuff. So we do have a little level 1 threat for flooding today. It's nothing excessive. There could be a little bit of flooding going on across the dark green areas. So, if you're in a flood-prone location and you're getting a lot of storm activity, there could be some flooding concerns. Tomorrow, kind of the same thing. Maybe a little bit of a northern expansion here. Once again, we are expecting a little bit of severe weather tomorrow as well. Day 3 here. So actually, we have a pretty decent threat here. This is going to be on, let's see, today's Tuesday, day 1. Day 2 is Wednesday. Day 3 will be Thursday. So for Thursday, you can kind of see we have a level 2 threat for flooding across like portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, a little bit of Nebraska, a little bit of southwestern Iowa too. So that's going to be kind of a big concern, or a much bigger concern for Thursday across the central plains and the Midwest. In terms of flooding and stuff. I probably should have turned that off, but yeah. So that's that. But for tonight, the flooding threat is fairly low. Even just despite the slow moving storms here. I mean, once again, wind shear is not super strong. Not super strong today, which is good, which is really good. Like I said, wind shear really organizes those storms and stuff. So, while thermodynamics are really strong for supporting big hail and, strong updrafts and stuff to support large hail, but, the wind shear, the winds throughout, not just ground level, but also upper atmosphere, pretty weak, which is going to be allowing for these storms to be moving pretty slowly, which, honestly is kind of a bit of a concern if you think about it, because, if you have a storm sitting over you for a longer period of time due to the fact that it's moving slower, that can allow for hail to be over your area longer, so that's a bit of a concern, kind of a nasty trade-off for lower wind shear. While it's typically good, it could be a little bit of a problem in that way. Anyways. Yeah, Aiden, I got you. Right now, Mississippi, there's really not much going on here, severe-wise. We do have a lot of multi-cellular thunderstorm activity going on here. Like I mentioned, right now, nothing severe. There could be an isolated severe storm or two today, or tonight, I should say, across portions of, like, southwestern Mississippi. So, the threat is nothing really big. We're not expecting some big outbreak or anything like that over here in Mississippi. No, we're pretty good over here. An isolated severe storm or two can't be ruled out, just in general. But, more to the west, like we mentioned, for the areas that we're really covering for, like western Texas, cutting through up into Kansas and stuff, like I mentioned, these are the areas that actually have a pretty decent concern. Once again, hail being kind of one of the main issues, also damaging winds as well. We've had several storms here, capable of 70-plus mile-an-hour winds. That's still going to carry on throughout portions of tonight. And also hail. I mean, like we mentioned, we've had several hail reports. I mean, here's actually one over here in Kansas a little bit ago. 2.5 inches of hail has been reported. That's some serious hail. So, that threat's still continuing, and that's going to continue on for the next several hours still. So we're kind of still looking out there for that. Now down in the deep south western side of Texas, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds and 2-inch hail. Now, thankfully, this is a relatively rural area of Texas, so there's really not a whole lot of people in this area, which is certainly good news. Let me grab the warning text on this on the storm here. This severe thunderstorm will remain mainly over rural areas of southern Pecos and central Terrell counties. So, these areas here, once again, not many people are going to be really affected with this. Now, there's another warning here that's east of that for Terrell County Gas Plant and Sheffield. This one's for ping pong ball hail 1.5 inches in diameter, but also, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. So I thought I'd mention that one as well. So, right now there's kind of a lot of scattered thunderstorm activity going on here. So southwest of Lubbock, out there by areas slightly just northwest of Seagraves, we got a pretty strong storm out by Pleasant Hill, Sligo, I think it is. This one is for golf ball hail, 1.75 inches in diameter, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So, mentioning that. North of Lubbock, got a few storms going on here. Northwest out by Littlefield, we got a pretty strong storm going on here. Golf ball hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust concerns out there for that storm. Western Oklahoma, quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, kind of low and severe. North of Wichita, same thing. Yeah, like I said, it just really kind of ranges, it's just kind of all over the place. So we got some that are significant, some that are, pretty big storms, and, some that are just, kind of low and severe that you just need to be indoors for, essentially. But yeah, of course, the big hailers and stuff, those are the ones you definitely need to be indoors and away from windows. Just make sure that you are away from windows, because obviously, hail is a big problem and can easily shatter windows. Just for your safety, stay away from windows. All right, let's see here. Amanda says, can I check on Yorkville, Illinois for the week? Thanks. Yep, no problem. So Yorkville, just Illinois in general, I don't think we have a whole lot of anything going on today. Definitely, let's see here. Today we have a little bit of a risk, I believe. Once again, SPC site's been pretty slow. So let's hop over here to this page here. So yeah, today, so northern Illinois, we have a little bit. So for your area, Yorkville, Illinois. Yep, so this includes you. So you're in that level 1 severe weather threat. So, an isolated severe storm or two can't be ruled out tonight. Good news, no tornadoes, just a little bit of gusty wind concern and maybe a little bit of hail. Can't rule that out. But odds are pretty unlikely. Tomorrow, we're actually good tomorrow. A little bit of thunderstorms are possible, nothing severe. We're not in that severe risk, just the general thunderstorm risk here. Then going our way into Thursday, same thing. Really over the next 3 days, not a whole lot going on. However, next Monday, you're not directly involved as of right now regarding severe weather for next Monday. But I will tell you this, slightly west of Illinois here, we do have a, oh my gosh, look at my mouse here. Why is it doing that? It's being weird. But slightly west of Illinois here out by Iowa, portions of Minnesota, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, portions of Minnesota. We need to be weather aware next Monday. Goodness. I don't know what's going on with my computer here. It is having a moment, I tell you that. There we go. A little bit better. See, we just got two. Is that a new report that just came through? 2-inch hail. 9:30. Yeah, that's a relatively new report that just got reported out here. South of Floydada, 2-inch hail. Been reported here for Floyd County, Texas, at 9:35 Eastern. It's 9:46 now. Anyways, what's up, Kayla? Saying, hey, Andrew, could you tell me what the zip code looks like for the next week? Severe weather possible outbreak. Yeah. So, of course, Monday's risk is still very far out there. I want you to know that, okay? Actually, you know what? You're good. Yeah, you're up here in Indiana. So, we're not really going to be involved as of right now. The extended range outlook for Monday has, areas west of you, far west of you in that risk area. As of now, you're good. However, tonight speaking, we're good. Tomorrow speaking, we're good. Day 3 for Thursday, a couple booms of thunder possible, but nothing big, nothing severe really going on. You're currently not in any form of risk, Kayla, for the next several days. So as of right now, you're looking okay. You're looking all right. Okay, so right now, like I mentioned, we have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings popping off across portions of Kansas, going in through Oklahoma. A lot of it's in western Texas right now. We're just watching a bunch of severe thunderstorms popping off here. Once again, whoa. That is a big upgrade here. They just upgraded the warning. just northwest of Lubbock here now to baseball hail. That is 2.75-inch hail in diameter. Also 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on that storm there, too. So that's out by Spade, Texas. Spade, Texas, south of Hart Camp. Let's see here. Yeah, Cotton Center and Spade is where that includes here. Yeah, look at that. Baseball hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts on that one. So, yeah, this is definitely one of those warnings that you need to be indoors for. You can't ride this one outside. Yeah, don't sit on your porch and watch this one. Too. I know a lot of people, a lot of Midwesterners and a lot of, Central Plainers and all of you guys out here really love to do that, including myself. I ain't gonna lie. It's dangerous, especially in a storm like this, given baseball hail. Yeah, you don't want to ride this one out. Or you don't want to ride this one outside, I should say. Stay indoors away from windows. I mean, you should be good if you're indoors and away from windows. It's probably going to be quite loud. I ain't going to lie. You're probably going to hear some loud noises. But as long as you're inside and in the interior portion of your home in a storm like this, you should be relatively safe. But there's probably going to be some hail damage associated with that storm. I mean, just given the magnitude of that hail, that's certainly a big concern. So, definitely got to look out there for that. And, it's been kind of on and off like that. Let's see here. Do we still have that one out by Austin? No, that one's gone now. Good. It's crazy in how just such a short amount of time something can go from, destructive to nothing. I mean, shoot, that was, 10 minutes ago? We just had a destructive warning out here from this cell right here. And it's already non-severe. I mean, that warning was still there for quarter hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but... Hey, I mean, so yeah, these ones down here are in rural areas for the most part. We have a warning for Seagraves, for ping pong ball hail. North of that here for Pleasant Hill, Texas, far western side for golf ball hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Let's see here. Section says, I will stay outside during a storm until the Johnson's house is in the air. Dude, hey, you know what? I love storms myself, but I would not be out during one of these. I would not recommend you doing it either. I mean, dude, baseball hail, moving at 60 miles an hour or greater, can really, really hurt you. I mean, I would not ride this outside. No, that is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Given a storm like this, I mean, as much as I love weather and stuff, I would not be out in this. I would be inside, as everybody should. Like I said, baseball hail, dude, that's, ice is heavy, too. Terminal velocity of a baseball hail is, I want to say, greater than 50 miles an hour. Let me pull it up here. Terminal velocity of baseball hail. Whoa. Okay, so it looks like terminal velocity is anywhere from 100 to 120 miles an hour. I don't know if I trust that, to be precise here. But, yeah, it's got to be somewhere around that range. I don't know if that site was right or not. Renita, coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Renita. Ooh. I'll get to you here in 1 second. I want to point this out. They got a pretty nasty-looking notch here. Let me check on velocity real quickly. Saying, hi, Andrew. How's Georgia looking? Not much of a big concern for Georgia. Okay, this is probably about to go tornado warned here. Y'all, don't be surprised if we get a tornado warning out by... Metador and Horner Lake area. It looks like we have a little bit of something trying to spin up here. Yeah, look at that. Got that rear flank downdraft coming through. Got that inflow. I mean, that has a pretty nasty notch, too. Look at that warm inflow. Anyways, don't be surprised if this is about to go warned here. Given wind shear, it's fairly weak in the environment and shouldn't produce anything significant. That's a concerning signature. That's probably about to go tornado warned here, which... might include the Metador area, I mean, you're not in it yet, but, just heads up, okay? All right, anyways, Renita, real quickly for you, my friend, you're looking pretty good. Nothing really big going on for Georgia. We do have a marginal risk, though, tomorrow for some places out there, including you. I mean, you're right on the edge of it. So, Renita, nothing really super big expected. No tornadoes tomorrow. Just a little concern for some gusty winds and small hail. Nothing really big is expected tomorrow. Now, don't be surprised if we do get a strong to potentially severe storm or two within the area tomorrow out there. But to be honest with you, I mean, it is a relatively low-end risk. It still is a risk for severe weather, so we still need to be weather aware. But, the odds are pretty low that you'll get anything crazy. But yeah, so thunderstorms will definitely be possible tomorrow. Okay, Renita, once again, thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate it. Y'all in chat, please give Renita a big thank you. It's very, very sweet of you, my friend. Thank you once again for your support. You are awesome. So, yeah, once again, everybody, we are watching this one cell very, very closely. Like I mentioned, it's probably going to go warned here soon, tornado warned soon. I mean, it looks like it does have a bit of rotation trying to develop here. Anything on CC? It's just a big mess. Honestly, that's just really contaminated here with, likely some big chunks of ice in the mid-upper levels. Samuel, we have one warning I looked at earlier. Louisiana. This is just a concern for gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour and quarter hail. Yeah, this one right here is kind of really growing my concern here. I mean, like you can kind of see there where that rotation's trying to develop here. You got that inflow, and then you got your rear flank trying to pull down here. See here. Yeah, we're getting all kinds of reports of oh, there it is. Dude, I called that a good 5 minutes before. There we go, guys. Tornado warning in effect now for Matador and Roaring Springs. Yeah, like I mentioned, that one looked like it was trying to do something there. I mean, we got that inflow notch right here. You guys can kind of see. Why is my thing being weird? Yeah, so there's your inflow notch here. A lot of warm air is just kind of rushing into that storm there. But back over to velocity here. Just trying to wrap up here. This is just shy of the Panhandle in Texas. Let me pull up mesoanalysis real quickly. I'm curious of the environment. Once again, mesoanalysis has actually been kind of slow today. Just SPC website in general has been pretty slow. But yeah, once again, Matador and Roaring Springs. Heads up to you guys. Tornado warning in effect here. Yep, no problem, Renita. What's up, SPC? Okay. Yeah, whenever that loads, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, because like I said, I'm a little curious to see what the environment looks like out here. Down here. Yeah, I wonder if they're having like server issues or something. Okay, so yeah, so that storm's out like right in here. Let me grab a photograph look. If it'll load. There we go. Yeah, I mean, you can see a slight arch there on the photograph. While the wind shear is very low, very, very weak, you can see that the direction in which the winds are pointing in, could definitely spark a little bit of rotation. So, I mean, yeah, that makes total sense. Total sense. I mean, the winds, like I mentioned, though, are very weak. Very weak. Yeah, 20 knots of lower level wind shear. Weak. There is a varying wind profile, I will say that. So the winds are changing directions with altitude, which is what you need for tornadoes. You really need those winds to change kind of from the north, changing to the northeast or east as you gain altitude for a lot of tornadic activity, and which we do have actually. our mid-level wind shears are the mid-level winds are moving to the east. Our lower-level winds are moving to the north. So there's a 90-degree angle basically between our lower and our mid-level wind shear of the winds changing direction with altitude, creating that spin. Given that updraft, it's allowing for that to materialize. Anyways, let's hop back over here though. So it seems to be a pretty broad rotation here from what it looks like. Once again, Matador, Texas, Roaring Springs. Heads up to you guys. We have about 32 minutes left in this tornado warning here. 32 minutes. Also ping pong ball hail on that one too. So big hail potential. Yeah, so apparently terminal velocity of a baseball-size hail would be anywhere from 100 to 200. Sorry, not 200. Anywhere from 100 to 120 miles an hour. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, ice is super heavy stuff, very dense. All right, let's take a peek up here towards Kansas. Looking west of Topeka. Got a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings here. These ones are, I was going to say, most of these are pretty low end warned for mostly just quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. But that southern one here, up by the New Cambria area, this one we got to look out for some golf ball hail potential and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. One down here to the south by Newton, Kansas, by Heston and Walton. Quarter hail, sorry, $half hail, 1.25 inches, and as well as 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Hopefully that will start to die down soon. So like I mentioned, I mean, HRRR kind of supported, like I said, some of those storms continuing overnight here. And kind of developing maybe into just a big cluster of storms that could roll through like the Dallas area here pretty late morning tomorrow. Oh, for you guys considering time conversion, kind of it'll be like late mid-morning. Like roughly anywhere from like 8 to 10 p.m. or so, roughly. Curious, I want to pull up the wind shear here. Or I should say wind speed here, lower atmosphere. Yeah, I mean, these winds are definitely pretty strong. I mean, these are like sustained winds. Should have one for wind gusts here. Let's bring up wind gusts. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely some of those storms could really contain some strong winds in them. Yeah, don't be surprised if tomorrow morning we get some pretty strong winds out by like Dallas area. So if that storm does, occur, which is a good possibility. I mean, HRRR has been pretty consistent with it towards the Dallas region tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. We certainly could see some pretty strong winds out there according to the HRRR and stuff like that. All right, let's hop back to radar, current radar. So we still got that inflow notch there. Warning still in effect here for the next 28 minutes. 28 minutes. What's up, Logan? Hope you're doing good. Coverage, we're not going to do that right now, man. Since we got a tornado warning in effect here, we're gonna try to keep close on this, okay? Aviation, where's that at, man? Yeah, like I mentioned, right now a lot of the activity, guys, is going to be across like Kansas and, like I said, western Texas here. That's kind of where the main concern is. If you guys can wait a little bit before this warning, once this warning gets canceled, yeah, it's very broad rotation right now. Then I'll look at it. I just want to keep a close eye on this right now. Very broad. I mean, look at that. That's like super large rotation. Large rotation is, it really needs to tighten up if it wants to really do something. But, you know, like I mentioned, though, I mean, our wind shear is fairly weak out here, so. Like I said, there's a little bit of arching going on here, man. I'll tell you. So here, 3 kilometer storm relative helicity, 179. Kind of on the lower side. I mean, this thing, like I said, storms are unlikely to produce anything like big tornado-wise. I mean, if we did get tornadoes, they would probably be pretty weak, pretty low end. What's up, Spencer? Hope you're doing good, my friend. 30 minutes north of San Antonio. Oh, gotcha. So you guys, I don't think you guys are really in for much. Yeah. So if you said, so you're north, you're 30 minutes north. You might be right on the edge of that marginal risk out there. In which, you know, odds are pretty low. I mean, yeah, we could get some potential storms out there, which some could be strong to severe. Yeah, odds are pretty low, but I mean, you are in that marginal if you're just slightly north of there. All right, once again, everybody, heads up towards Matador and Roaring Springs here. We do have a, like I said, tornado warning we've been kind of tracking here for a little bit. I'm glad I caught this before it got warned too. You know, it's certainly good. Take a peek back at velocity here. It's a pretty broad rotation, very large rotation going on right now. Hopefully this should die out pretty soon, though. Okay, let's see. That's down to quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, that one was baseball hail a little bit ago. North of Wichita. Here, let's hop back to reflectivity. North of Wichita, Kansas, we have a severe warning for golf ball hail. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts out by Walton, Kansas, Hessen, North Newton, and Gossell, Kansas. 1.75 inches in 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Anything for Alabama coming soon? Not really. Nothing big really expected out there anytime soon. The next potential, like, big set of storms could be next Monday. Not for you, but just generally speaking, you know, next potential outbreak of storms. Monday we're kind of watching. But for Alabama, not really much going on out there for you guys anytime soon. Yeah, these northern ones are kind of on the lower end. Yeah, this one's still warned for lime hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, we don't really have much of a radar out here. San Angelo is actually in a severe thunderstorm warning for quarter hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But yeah, Alabama should be pretty good. Samuel, not much. Not much. Mississippi, Alabama, nothing really big going on for you guys. Like I mentioned, except for that little marginal in southwestern Mississippi tonight. Yeah, not really anything big, super crazy. I tell you what, for very weak wind shear in the environment. Also, remember, mesoanalysis isn't Always 100% correct. That's pretty decent rotation for such a low, like I said, such a pretty low shear environment here. I mean, gate to gate, I mean, that's... Huh. Yeah. Once again, just Matador and Roaring Springs. Make sure you guys are in your shelters, okay? Once again, this is actually out there by kind of the northwestern-ish side of Texas, for the people who's wondering. What's up, Cheryl? Saying, hello, everyone, from Dallas-Fort Worth, guessing another sleepless night for me. Honestly, Cheryl, so the weather models have been kind of suggesting of some storms working its way towards the area later today, or tomorrow morning, I should say. Here, let me show you real quickly. Yeah, the HRR has been pretty consistent, too. So, yeah, so you can see out there by Dallas here. So the timing is in the bottom right here, other than my thing coming here. Here, there you go. So you can see out there, we are talking like pretty early set of storms coming through. This is kind of late morning. This is Eastern time, by the way, so you subtract an hour. So this would be 10 p.m. your time, roughly. I mean, it's never good to take HRR timing that approximate, but yeah, I mean, you for the rest of tonight, you should be good, Cheryl. But just know, like, tomorrow morning, we could have some storms coming through, which I believe has you in a marginal, if I'm not mistaken. SPC's been pretty slow, so. Here, let's hop back over here, y'all. Actually, no. No, you know what? No, you're not even in any form of risk. SPC doesn't have you in any severe outlook. I don't know. We'll have to see, though. Still, I'd still keep it out there for late morning. Let's see here. Hippie says that nonsense isn't going to make its way to Kansas City, is it? I have a rental car in my driveway. Do I need to put it in the garage? Kansas City, so I don't think you guys are really going to be in this. I believe there's a marginal for Kansas City area. Yeah, so we do have a level 1 threat. Here, let's hop you guys over here real quickly. So Kansas City, we have a level 1 severe weather threat out here, which, you know, it's nothing super big. Here we go. I apologize for my slow computer today. Everything's just been really slow. Yeah, Kansas City honestly should be relatively good tonight. I mean, a little bit of gusty winds, some small hail, not really the big stuff, I'd say. If we did get hail, which is extremely low, you know, it wouldn't be anything likely significant like we're seeing over here in like southern Kansas or whatnot. So, no, honestly, you should be good. You should be good. Just to leave it out there. I mean, the odds are extremely low, but it's not quite to that point. Now, if you're like near a storm that was producing big hail, which you're not, then I'd say maybe. But yeah, no, I think you're good. I think we're good. All right, y'all. 19 minutes on this tornado warning here, yeah. Also, I'm probably gonna head off here after this does get expired here because everything's being so slow for 1, 2. Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing super long coverage tonight. Just wanted to hop on here for a little bit with you guys. But yeah, once that tornado warning expires, then we're gonna call it a night, okay? But tomorrow I'll be live again for you guys. Be live. Like I said, I haven't been able to be live for the last couple of days because I had some personal stuff going on. So thankfully, not much tornadic activity, so that makes me feel a little better. Mostly just large hail in a lot of rural areas for the most part. Oh, let's see. No problem. Will Joplin, Missouri be in the path? So not... No, Joplin's good tonight. Into tomorrow. A couple thunderstorms are possible, but nothing severe. I mean, this is just a general thunderstorm risk here. Couple booms of thunder. Same thing for Thursday. You know, a few booms of thunder possible. Carol, honestly, we're looking okay. Next 3 days, pretty chill across Joplin. All right, let's hop back to velocity here. I'm curious to see what it looks like now. So this is a new refresh here. Still pretty broad rotation going on here. Hopefully that inflow will start to die out, which it looks like it might be. Looks like some of that inflow coming in is possibly weakening a bit, which is good. Still pretty strong rear flank, though. It's a good sign, though. It's a good sign. Still need you guys to be in your shelter, though, towards Matador and Roaring Springs, just to be careful, you know. But once again, environment's not really super spicy tonight for tornadoes. Wind shear related, pretty low. Pretty low stuff. Hail-wise, pretty spicy tonight, but spice level, I don't know, from a scale of 1 to 10, hail spice level is probably right around a 6 or so. And then I would put spice level for winds about a 5 or 6 or so out of 10. Yep, no problem, Cheryl. You're welcome, Carol, as well. You guys are very welcome. Let's see here. Hopefully no bad storms on my birthday, April 30th. Hey, you know what? I couldn't relate to that because I had a high risk on my birthday on April 2nd. that was something else, man, I tell you. Having a high risk on your birthday, full on severe weather, not just tornado outbreak, but just severe weather outbreak on your birthday is crazy. Pretty crazy. I hope not, though. Hopefully you'll have a nice clear day. Let's see. Hoopy says, is it Hoopy or Hoopy? Says, thank you so much for everything you do. You're amazing. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. You're very welcome, guys. To be quite fair, it looks like a lot of those warnings have been canceled. I think we started with like 20-something warnings. Still have quite a bit, though. Like I said, San Angelo, we have a severe warning for 30 minutes for quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. You know, stay indoors, away from windows. You should be good. They just canceled the one out by Seagraves, West Texas. Quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, it seems like a lot of these are kind of losing their strength, which is good. Oh, come on, computer. Don't quit on me now, man. Well, happy late birthday. My girlfriend's birthday was the day after that. So, yeah, hers was on the 19th. Yeah, honestly, it looks like a lot of these are starting to fade down anyways. You know what? That makes me feel happy. It makes me a lot happier because when we started, these hailstorms were pretty significant. But, you know, you guys just saw it for yourself. I mean, most of these warnings are kind of getting low end, which is good. It's good. Yeah, lack of that daylight heating will make a big difference sometimes on storms. Which is good. Very, very good. Once again, guys, once this tornado warning gets canceled, we're going to head off for the night, okay? But I'll be live tomorrow. I really need to start getting back in the grind of doing daily videos, live streams, either a video or a live stream in the morning. I don't know. Probably. I really need to make videos more. I'll figure it out. Like I mentioned, I was just unable to the last couple days. Yeah, Cheryl, it was hot here in Florida, too. Pretty warm. I think my weather station said it was like 93 or something out here in Central Florida. A little warm today. Yeah, that looks a lot better, though. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all see how slow this is being? Like, look at my mouse. My mouse should not be doing this. It's like teleporting. think my computer needs a rest. 92. Yeah, it's sure it was pretty humid out there today too for you guys. All that moisture advection we got going on. I think your dews are out in the 60s, aren't they? 60 and 70 degree dew points are pretty muggy usually. Oh, whoops. Let me go back to Medar here. Let's go dew point. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys are going to lower mid-60 dew points. Some even upper 60s. The closer you get to the coast, the more moisture content there is. You really notice an increase in mugginess. So this tornado warning cell, like I mentioned, we still need you guys in your shelter for Matador and Roaring Springs. It looks a lot better, though. I think a lot of it's dismantling, hopefully. Once again, though, still need you guys in your shelters, though, for Matador and Roaring Springs, Texas. And like I said, once this gets expired, then we're gonna call it a night, okay? Plus, my computer's begging me to stop. I mean, look how laggy it is still. My webcam's fine and everything. It's weird because like everything's running, seems to be running okay anyways, but just my computer, it might be a RAM issue or something. I mean, I have new RAM and stuff. I don't know why. Here, let me pull up my, I'm getting, show you guys this. This is my usage right now. CPU's only at 30%. Memory's at 63. GPU's at 40. I mean, that's not super bad with everything I'm loading. I don't know what's causing this. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? What's up, Christy? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Samuel, like I said, man, we're pretty good. We've already looked at in your area a couple times, man. I mean, you asked me that earlier. How are the winds in that storm? Hold on. Or how is the winds in that storm is east-northeast. Is that what you're trying to say? Depends on what storm you're talking about here. For one. Got 10 minutes left on that tornado warning, guys. Yeah, we do got some, so we got northerly wind shear in our lower atmosphere here at 850 millibar height. So it's lower atmosphere. Once this loads here, you'll see it. Maybe. But you can see our mid-level flow is easterlies here. Or westerlies. Wind's going from the west going to the east here. So you can see that's moving eastward. Maybe someday our lower level wind shear will load. We got mostly northerlies though. So, or mostly winds going to the north in our lower atmosphere. What's the worst storm I've been in? Hurricane Milton probably. Last year. I was in the eye wall of Milton during Category 2. Yeah, it had a pressure. I measured a pressure low of 971 millibars, I think it was. 971 millibar low. Yeah, Milton was by far the worst storm I've been into. Severe thunderstorm-wise, I've been in a warning for 80-mile-an-hour winds and like 3-inch hail before, back when I lived in Kentucky. I didn't see that, though, but anyways. How is it tornado warned when the wind is east-northeast? I mean, there is a bit of, here, if we look back over here at the photographs and stuff, I mean, it is supportive. I mean, if you look at it, while we have really weak wind shear, once this loads, there's a bit of arching going on. Veering wind shear in a lower atmosphere, so the winds are changing direction with altitude. So as we go up in altitude, the winds are changing their direction. So if it'll load, I would show you the photograph here. But yeah, there's a little bit. So the wind shear is very weak. So the winds throughout the atmosphere is very low. Very, very weak. But the direction they're going in, does support tornadic activity. And since it's weak, it should be relatively marginal tornadic activity, relatively weak tornadic activity. If it was stronger wind speeds with the direction that they're flowing in, there would be more of a concern for tornadoes, but there's not, thankfully. The ingredients are there for it, though. Maybe I can try to load the photograph again. And you can kind of see in the skew T chart here on the right-hand side here, you can see how we have the veering winds. Lower level winds are kind of going to the northwest slightly, and then north-northwest. As you go up in altitude, they change eastward. So that churning motion there, that veering is, it can really give some spin to some of those storms. But there you go. So you can see that arch here on the photograph. Yeah, that arching is signifying that change in wind direction with altitude. But you can see the knots. I mean, we're right around 20 knots at, throughout most of the levels of the atmosphere for the most part, except once you go in upper level, but upper level areas. But yeah, winds are fairly weak, but the direction they're flowing in is pretty good, which I can see why a storm like this could spin up. Let's see here. Have I ever been in a tornado warning? Yes, multiple. I'm sure most people have been in a tornado warning in their lives. There was a storm back in, I want to say 2009. I was little at that time, but it was in Kentucky, and there was a confirmed tornado on it, and I was literally looking at it. So that was the only time I saw a tornado, but I've been in several other warnings with confirmed tornadoes on them, though. Scary stuff. Yep, no problem, Zach. Glad to help, man. Well, let's get everybody. We're going to roll off here pretty soon. We have 6 more minutes left on this warning here. Hopping back over to velocity here. A lot of that inflow is kind of really cutting off, which is good. Really, really good. We still got some pretty strong, rear flank. Why is my mouse actually working semi-normal now? Look at that. Did something happen? It's a miracle. But yeah, still some pretty strong rear flank activity going on here. The downdraft. I mean, it could be a dying storm, even. We'll see. I've ever had a tornado in my area. Here in Florida, where I live now, no. Actually, I take that back. Auburndale area, there was a tornado, which is east of me, during Milton. There was a confirmed tornado that was not that far from me. Milton spawned a lot of tornadoes. Like I mentioned, that was the worst storm I've been through. Milton was, I don't know how to say it to make it sound bad, because I'm not trying to make it sound bad. I hate the fact it caused people a lot of problems, including us. I hate it, but it was a good storm to go through, if that makes sense. Me being the storm lover I enjoyed the thrill of going through the storm, not the aftermath. I hate the fact that it causes destruction, but the thrill of being in this hurricane is pretty spectacular, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to make that sound bad. No, because that's not it. But now my mouse is doing the thing again. That's nice. But yeah, I mean, Milton was a pretty good storm. That was, I think, my top storm I've been in, because I was in that eye wall. I streamed it even. I was even live overall. Yeah, I even streamed that. What do you mean? No, it's not, Court. You went through what storm? Milton last year, Hurricane Milton. Christy, I've been through multiple tropical cyclones, but that was my first full-on hurricane that I went through. I mean, I've been through like Sandy and stuff like that back when I lived up north. But I mean, that was years ago. But yeah, Milton was like my first real hurricane that I had. But I went through like Hurricane Nicole and stuff a couple years prior to that. So I mean, I've been in them, but that was the strongest one. Wonder what this hurricane season is going to be like. I don't think it's going to be as active as last year, but I think it'll still be active, maybe slightly above normal status, but I don't think it's going to be as active as last year. I really do need to make a hurricane forecast video because, I mean, yeah, we're going to be in neutral status this year. We're not going to be in La Nina or El Nino this year. So El Nino promotes weaker or less active hurricane season. By the way, tornado warnings canceled, guys. While La Nina allows for more active conditions because, La Nina weakens the trade winds, while El Nino increases them. So, if you have a lot of strong wind shear, that allows for hurricanes to kind of fall apart, kind of get ripped apart. But yeah. I mean, I could get that quote from a non-weather person. It does suck. The aftermath, I hate it. That was terrible. But like the thrill of being in this storm, because I have a nature of loving severe weather and just weather in general. For me, it's thrilling, but for you, it's not because you're not in the weather like I am. Been waiting for your hurricane update. Yeah. I need to get to that soon. Well, I'll probably do that here soon. Tomorrow we have that slight risk. Thursday we're pretty chill. I think we just have a marginal now. I'm gonna try to get to it this week. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to it later this week. Maybe I need to write it down. Though I remember it. Set an alarm or something. Something to remind me. I have a problem with remembering. The spookies. I guess so. They could be a little spookies. I mean, like, when I went through Milton, I was at my brother's house, and his roof, he lives in an older house. I mean, it's structurally very strong house. But he had a tin roof in the back of his house, and you could hear it getting ripped off because of how strong the winds were. It was pretty crazy. Actually, I'm sure you could probably hear that in some of my footage when I was live streaming out the window during Milton. I did 2 live streams. I did one in the eastern eye wall and one in the west eye wall. The west eye wall I was in during Milton was the strongest period of Milton that I went through. It wasn't as bad in the eastern eye wall as it was the west, because once that western eye wall hit, it hit hard. I mean, it hit probably 2 times as strong as the east eye wall did. And I'm not even joking. You guys can probably go back and see that in my live streams at some point. I was on my phone doing it. But I love how we're severely getting off track here. Good news that tornado warning is canceled, and honestly, we don't have any warnings, so that's why I'm okay with doing this. Michael, yeah, glad you reminded me. Let me pull it up real quickly. See if SPC decides it wants to load, because SPC has been really slow today. But bit of a fun fact. I enjoy tracking the tropics the most out of any weather phenomenon. Like, I love forecasting all types of weather, but I think hurricane forecasting is some of my favorite. Okay. We don't really have a whole lot of fire weather going on. We have an elevated risk here for Wednesday. Once again, if SPC decides it wants to load, I'll show you. I don't know if they're having server issues, which is a good possibility. Anyways, well, yeah, the risk for fire weather is very low. It's not like, we have an elevated risk here tomorrow, which is, it was a lot worse previously. Let's see here. I used to like it until I got slammed by straight line winds. That's very fair. Very fair. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this hurricane season is going to play out, though. Like I really am. Uh, I mean, we'll find out. And like I said, I'll be there to track it with you guys the whole way. I will be on it. I promise you that. I will be on it. Because, like I mentioned, tropics that's honestly my favorite field in weather is the tropics. Once again, I like I like not hazards. I like all types of weather. But tropics got to be number one. Number two is probably severe weather, yeah. Like thunderstorms and stuff. And then I don't know, man. I think thunderstorms and winter weather forecasting are kind of neck and neck for me. Like they're tied, but tropics is above that. Anyways. All right, buddy. Well, I hate to do this, but we're going to roll off here now. Like I said, we were going to roll off whenever that tornado warning expired, which it expired a while back. So tomorrow on the table, like I said, I'm not really sure what we're going to do. I do need to start getting back in the grind of doing videos daily as well as live streams too. Some form of content will come out tomorrow. I'm going to try to maybe work on a video or a morning live stream. Like I said, it just depends. When I wake up, I'll be like, okay, what am I going to do? So just expect something, okay? So don't be surprised if we go live tomorrow morning. Definitely evening, more than likely. And then, of course, once things, maybe I get a little bit of a break, I can work on my hurricane forecast video, and then we'll have that up for you guys. Okay? Alrighty, everybody. Well, you guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your nights. Once again, I think a lot of the heavy stuff is mostly over. I mean, yeah, a lot of these warnings here, like, not as crazy as they were. Since the sun went down, it's, that lack of diurnal heating that we have going on, it's definitely made a difference in the storm. Definitely a difference in the storm magnitude, I guess is the right word for it. No problem, Michael. Good night, Cheryl. I bet May will be busy, and then hurricane season. Yeah, we'll see. Hurricane season starts June 1st, I believe. So it's a lot closer than you think, man. It's close. I mean, that's only what? Wow, dude, that's like only a month or so away. I mean, we're mostly through April, all through May, and then June 1st is whenever hurricane season officially starts, I believe. And goes until November 30th, maybe, something like that. Anyways. All right, everybody. You guys take care. Chris says, good night, and I appreciate the stream. Had a bad. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Christy. Hopefully your day tomorrow will be better. See you later, Hopi or Hoppy. I think it's Hopi, I'm pretty sure. But all right, everybody. Y'all, thanks for joining. Much love to y'all. Once again, just thank you all for hanging out with us and stuff and everything. So before I roll off here, though, once again, a big thank you goes to Dixie for the super chat as well as Renita. Those were the donators tonight. So thank you guys once again for the super chats and the donations. You guys don't have to do that. It's greatly appreciated. Y'all are amazing. So thank you so much for those people. Once again, Dixie and Renita, thank you guys once again for the support. You guys are awesome. And, of course, thank you to everybody who's watched this, for liking this, who's subscribed as well. I appreciate you guys. But all right, everybody. Well, stream's going to head off here in, let's see here, approximately 1 minute here. If my mouse will work. But all right, everybody. Well, stream's heading off here in a minute. Once again, thank you all for joining. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you guys sometime tomorrow. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. See you guys later on. Peace out.